Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever this video shall be viewed and or posted. I am Ether and welcome to my channel, I for your tarot. Um I was doing some self-care pampering this Sunday. It is 3/12/2023 at 2:13 p.m. And in the midst of my self-care pampering and meditation, um, I was going to straighten up and clean my area after cleaning myself, and I heard wisdom, energy, raise the vibration. So I'm going to use my self-care wisdom cards, the divine energy oracle, and the raise your vibration oracle. Um, I will most likely pull some tarot cards just to get a little bit more in depth of what each card would represent regarding any situation, a particular person, so on and so forth. Do excuse any background noises. I do have my window closed, but I'm pretty sure in moments of silence or even throughout the video, you might hear, my neighbors singing or music playing in the background, okay? Um, so yeah, I don't have any real intuitive messages, but that is what I heard. Um, wisdom, divine energy, and raise it. That's what I heard. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use one card from each oracle deck. Self-care wisdom cards were produced or um, done by Cheryl Richardson. The divine oracle energy that I'm cards that I'm using was created by a Sonia uh, Choquette, if I'm not mistaken. If that's how you say her name, I apologize if I got it wrong. And the Raise Your Vibration Oracle deck was done by Kyle Gray. Okay, so those names could be significant, um, or these individuals must have like some potent energy between these cards. These are the cards that called out to me when I seen them online. So I was like, hey, let me get those, So I'm going to go ahead and get one wisdom card first. Thank you. We have Elevate Self-Worth. You get what you excuse me. You get what you believe you deserve. It's time to raise your standards. So it's time to come up a little higher. At the bottom of the deck, we do have calm. The affirmation or the guidance on this card says a breakdown is often followed by a breakthrough. Remain calm. And then at the very, 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 very back, we have security. True security comes from a reserve of time, space, energy, personal power, and love. Make deposits in all of these accounts, and you will be a wealthy person indeed. So, in this time of elevation, or in this time of you raising your standards, it is a call to remain calm. That is the wisdom of is what I'm getting. That is the wisdom, that spirit, that is the wisdom that God is pushing through in this time for whoever needs it. I know definitely for me. I made a video, I think last night, about the ascension going. It's an ongoing thing. You're always elevating. You're always ascending. Um, Shout out to Moody Tarot. I seen a video she posted on yesterday, which was 3/11, where briefly she spoke on how you're being taken up just to bring brought back down. But just when you're coming back down, when you're ascending to descend, it's not to descend in the negative aspects, for you to come back down just to raise you back up into the right placement, that spirit or God, whatever you call on, whoever you call on, to put you back in your rightful place. So it is a time to remain calm, and just like, I guess, to inform you that you do have that security that you need. Make deposits in these areas, okay? Don't want to drag it, so I'm gonna go ahead and shuffle the divine energy. What is the divine energy behind this wisdom of the elevation, self-worth and elevation? I think that's 2, 3, 4. so that I can shuffle. What is the divine energy? One card, please. Whoa. Okay, we have two cards. I did see something about priorities. Reevaluate your priorities and embrace your power. Okay, so those two wanted to show something about reevaluating your priorities, embracing the power that you have that has been gifted upon you. Thank you. Go for your dreams. Okay, so you could be being elevated in this time, raising your standards for your dreams, what you feel like you believe you deserve. Okay, be patient. So you could have had a dream about a situation. At the bottom of the deck, we have wake up call. You could have had a dream about a situation you wanted to embark on, whether that's writing. I just heard whether that's writing, creating, preaching the gospel, whether that's on healing, whether that's on working with children, whether that's with working with people. Okay, you could have had this dream. Right now, you're being guided to reevaluate your priorities and embrace the power from within that God, that Holy Spirit has bestowed upon you, and raise your standards. Is this dream something that you're doing just for money purposes, for an income, or is this something that you really have a passion for? Okay, it's time to elevate and raise your standards when it comes towards certain dreams and endeavors. Okay, we're going to go ahead and rise this vibration. You are not alone has came out, and another card that I guess wants to show itself because it was kind of stuck with it is I call back my power. So embracing that power, reevaluating your priorities, and living with purpose brings prosperity. Okay, so I see freedom, forgiveness brings freedom popping out. So it could be a lot of things going on in this time at this very moment. Um, you could be feel like you have the world against you. This is like a I see this as the universe, right? Because you have the planets, and then it's this one planet, but there's other planets circling it. And you might feel like you're on this planet or you're in this world alone, but there are other planets and other people and other stars and other surroundings around you that can also be trying to work out for their dreams, that can also be on this self-worth elevation. On here it's like a thermometer, like you start at the bottom, you might feel full, but now it's time for you to start coming up out of it, right? Or you could be in this bubble and it's very small. You feel like you're not worthy. You feel like you're not accepted. You feel like you're not wanted. And once you start to elevate and you start to realize your self worth and what it is that you want to do on your path in this journey, what it is that you have desire for, whether that's in work, whether that's in love, whatever the case may be, the hearts on here start small. And as you start to, I just heard, as you start to release and let go, your heart starts to grow fonder and it gets big until you start to realize your self worth and what you believe that you deserve in this time. Hopefully that made sense to someone, anyone. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and we're going to do some tarot cards and see what pictures, fragments, people, energies are more potent in this time with this elevate, go for your dreams, and you are not alone. All right, let's go ahead and take a look. Thank you, Holy Father, for the confirmation. Excuse me if there is a lot of movement. I have my computer propped up and on the bed, so I'm trying to not move so much. So we have this number 7 coming out, the Chariot. It's Moon in Cancer. Okay, you shall get the victory in overcoming obstacles in this time of elevation. Remain focused. Your hard work is going to pay off. Once you're able to elevate yourself, or once you do come into this ram, I just heard of elevation, and you get your willpower back and your ambition back to go for your dreams, you step into this into this stability and into this structure and protection, just not from the physical realm but from the spiritual realm as well, focusing on discipline and how to manage yourself. I heard your emotions, your money, whatever it is that you're trying to grab, that logic and that that structure on with this four, this king of, excuse me, with this emperor card coming out underneath. Go for your dreams. Thank you very much. You are not alone. So there could be some gossip, some lies, some I just heard biased judgments on what you're doing or how you're going about it. Someone can be putting you down. I also heard you can be putting yourself down. You feel like you can't trust yourself because you're unaware of what's going on. You're not too sure on how to go about it. Prime example, I'm gonna use me for a prime example. Um, I was taught, I was learned, I grew up in a foundation where doing tarot, looking into divination and things of like that was of the devil. It was of dark, it was of witchcraft. It does not please God. Excuse me, it does not bring him honor and glory. However, in my time of reading into tarot, reading into astrology, um, in the dark, I just heard that in the dark. In the dark means like, nobody knows that you're doing it, right? Um, that's what I heard in the dark. In the times when I was reading into tarot, studying astrology, things of that sort, in the dark means nobody knows you're doing it. It started to come out to light. So I kind of battled with it. 2000 and I want to say 2018 is when I was instructed to look at tarot. So I started, searching tarot online, looking for little, I'm a Gemini sun, right? Sun and moon. Before I even start getting into my birth chart and stuff, I just knew, all I knew is, I was born in June, I'm a Gemini sun. So that's how it started. I started looking at Gemini horoscopes every day. And then I tapped in deeper to watching Gemini readings on YouTube and came across some, glorious and fabulous women who most likely share stories and things of that sort, have stories of, how and why they ended up in this path or in this realm. And I grew fond of it. Um, went in deeper. Then I started looking at channeled messages, and then I started looking at collective messages just to find words or phrases that might resonate with me in that time. So I had already heard intuitively in the back of my head, I'm like, I don't understand this. This is going against my belief. This is going against what God would want for his people, right? Why would God turn this away and say, don't show this any attention, don't give this any credit, like if it makes sense. So I started to pay attention. Then I heard get your own cards and look into it for yourself. And I was like, what? And then I heard a reader. I heard a reader, and she came on like maybe 2, 3 days later after me officially hearing that. She was like, "Get your own cards, look in for yourself. Don't be tapping into people energy, but get your own cards, do readings for yourself." Da 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 da. So I was like, "Okay, there's my confirmation." I was like, "But this is awkward. Like, this is awkward. How does this tie into what's going on right now? What is the dream, or what is the main focus? Like, how is this going to elevate me in my spirituality? How is this going to elevate me in my connection, in my relationship with God? Because even prior to that, like I have shared before on the video, I got angry and I, kind of cursed God, like, what the hell is a God? How can you allow all these things to happen, right? Well, majority of the time we step into this Queen of Swords in reverse by gossiping and having biased judgment on certain situations, and we start losing out and we become miserable with ourselves and our decisions. And then most of the time we blame God or we blame spirit, but we have to really sit back and examine ourselves, excuse me, on what it is that we have done and where we are, as well as how we were brought up. Okay, so hopefully that made sense. I don't know why I brought that up, but we do have, this is 3 cards, we have 3 cards coming out. I'll do the first one first, bottom. So we do have the Chariot with the clarifying with the 5 of Pentacles. Okay. We have the Page of Swords, and then we have the King of Swords coming to clarify this this Queen of Swords at the bottom of the deck. At the bottom Excuse me, at the bottom of the deck, we have the moon card. So you get what you deserve. Um, you get what you believe you deserve. Okay, so it's time to raise your standards. Um, I also just heard like, okay, um, someone or something feels left out in the cold, and they came to the realization, well, there were times where I was broken and I was hurt, and I walked away from people, or someone was broken and it was hurt and they needed you and you walked away, you were not there for them. So it could be this obstacle that you're overcoming of feeling left out in the cold. Again, I said with this, you are not alone. It's one person, you're not alone. This one planet or this one bubble. And then there's other things around it. With this Five of Pentacles coming out, explaining that, you're feeling low, you're losing out on opportunities or financial opportunities. You feel like the world is against you. You feel like you're the adversary, okay? Or there could be an adversary that could be coming to you to say something around the facts of they have won, or they have willpower, they have overcame something over you. All right. I'm also hearing a time to sacrifice something, and this sacrifice is going to help you to have self-discipline as well as focus. Okay, with this page of swords coming out underneath the emperor for go for your dreams, you could have had some type of authority, or you could have had some type of practicality of how you want to go about things, right? Or it could be someone that sees you as some type of wish fulfillment, but they could have, I just heard, vaguely um, judged you. They misjudged you on a certain situation. But truth of the matter was that, they kind of calculated who you were, and it could have been calculated wrongly, and it caused you to miss out on some situations. It also, I just heard that there is someone that is unconcerned about someone's feelings, so all they know is, logic and rational decisions, rational choices, right? An unemotional person. And this could be some type of delayed news on that, regarding this, the lies and the gossip that has been brought forth. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get one more card. So we have the Four of Pentacles coming out to, oh, that's a lot. Four of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles, the King of Cups, the Empress, and the Eight of Pentacles. So someone could be holding on again to the way things were or how they remembered you, okay? And they're trying to work um, around what they have caused, is what I heard, around what they have said. The moon is coming back out, so that could be a secret, and you can intuitively already know that. Could be some type of fear and intuition or fear-based misconception around the situation um, of this elevation. Someone, again, this emperor could have procrastinated, or there could be an energy of procrastination at this time to bring forth some type of honesty, to bring sort up some type of lot or some type of possibility for you to be open to go for your dreams. Also heard someone does not want you to succeed as well. They do not want you to go for your dreams. They do not want you to have these opportunities. They're wanting to hold them back so that you can continue to work with them, and they're watching with this Three of Wands at the bottom of the deck. The Judgment card has come out. It does say judgment, reconciliation. So there could be judgment about some type of gossip or lies, or some type of loss that has occurred. There also could be some type of reconciliation with someone that did lie on a certain situation, or someone is taking their part of the blame of what they've said. But either way it go, again, there was a message that I got the other day that had something to do with not being in your emotions, but more so being in the logical standpoint of things. So, like, for example, you know that you're very family oriented and you want your family to succeed and you want your family to be happy and you want to be able to count on your family, you want your family to be able to count on you, so on and so forth. But there could be moments where there wasn't the time for that. You had to neglect your family had to neglect you because there was something there that was unknown with this moon card, right? It was something that was unknown. And I just heard that there is a whole lot of opportunities, a whole lot of possibilities that you know, roads that you could have went down, a whole lot of choices you could have went down, but you chose, you know, this road, whether that's doing tarot, whether that's doing witchcraft, whatever the case may be for you. In my case, it would be me dealing with cards, playing cards. I just heard playing the cards you was dealt, using the cards that you were dealt, playing the cards that you was dealt. So there you have it. This could be delayed news for somebody, but someone either wants to reconcile or there could be some type of self-evaluation at this time, an awakening moment that is going to bring some type of snap judgment. I'm gonna get the AE wave just to get one more clarifier. Really don't need one, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it anyway, just to see what comes out. Side three, that's three. So we have the Five of Wands coming out. We have the Nine of Swords coming out, clarifying that Seven of Cups, and then we have the Ten of Wands clarifying the Judgment. So again, it could have brought a burden. Someone said something. I just heard someone open their mouth and said something, misjudging a situation, because it could be because of beliefs, it could be because of spirituality with this judgment here, and it caused a burden on a certain situation. And there, like I said, there are a lot of opportunities and a lot of different endeavors and a lot of ways to make either finances or bring some type of structure or even go for your dreams. There are a whole lot of ways to go about it, but it could bring some type of fear and anxiety because of the simple fact you don't want to be viewed as a witch, or you don't want to be viewed as someone of the dark, right? So it's bringing conflict. It could bring inner conflict. It could bring inner burdens onto your mind, into your mental, um, even your heart, because we do have the Seven of Cups here, right? But it's a lot of mental game here with this Emperor, with the swords here, the King and the Queen of Swords. Okay, with the wands here, we only have one wand card, so that's the Ten of Wands. So it is burdensome. Then you have the Five of Pentacles, talks about being left out, talks about loss, talks about the world being against you, talks about struggle and unemployment, right? So that's what I have. At the bottom of the deck of one deck, we do have, where is the deck? We have the Three of Wands, and then we have the Knight of Wands here. So making fast decisions, moving hastily, okay? Um, I just heard like a lot of people don't agree with what has been done. A lot of people don't agree with what you're doing because a lot of people don't understand. Most of the time, we are um, products of our community, products of our family. So a lot of times we sow seeds in places not really knowing what we're going to expect. I think that was one of the messages I had in my earlier videos that I posted back in December when I pre-recorded was knowing if you're planting on tainted soil or not, knowing if you're planting on solid ground, because sometimes you can plant thinking you're going to get the abundance of what you have planted, and the soil, the ground can be tainted, causing weeds to grow along with the abundance, choking the life out of it. In so many words, that's kind of what I said. I think the analogy I used was a strawberry vine, and the strawberries are growing, but something else is growing with it, and it's choking the life out the strawberries, so the strawberries can't grow to their full potential. So instead of the strawberries growing into some big juicy red strawberries, you have yellow strawberries and they're really small. You have green strawberries and you have pink strawberries. That might be bitter, stuff like that. It's not growing into its sweetness because you have other things that was planted in this ground or that this ground possesses that grows along with the seeds that you've sown and chokes the life out of it. Hopefully that makes sense. So that will cause a burden situation. That will cause fear and anxiety. Um, I'm not a farmer. I don't plant. I have been drawn to like buy me flowers and get plants and stuff like that. Just see what I can do. And in the midst of that, I noticed like things was working. I had a plant. I told my son, pick me a plant. My youngest child, kind of hopefully this all tie in together. But I told my youngest child, give me a plant. Went to the store and told him, go get me one of those plants. He got a plant. The plant was dry. It was sitting outside. They were wilting, but it still had the vibrant color of if its color. It was still green. So once I brought it home with me, brought it to my place, I, kind of dig my finger in the dirt. Okay, it's really dry. It's been in the sun. It's been outside. It got the air that it needed, whatever, whatever. So I watered it. I sat it in a little bowl, whatever. I watered it. And before you knew it, I probably didn't look at it for like 2 days after I watered it. And then so happened, I so happened to look at it, and the leaves the leaves or the stems of the plant that were already yellow that were still laying were laying down. But I noticed how the rest of the greenery of the plant was standing straight up, right? So I was like, okay, here we go. Long story short, weeks go by and I started to notice it wilted again. And I happened to look and I'm looking inside the bowl and I'm looking at the dirt and I'm like, this is super, super wet. So I asked my son, I said, son, did you overwater my plants? And he was like, yeah, my master told me to pour my water in your plants and kill them because they was too advansive. That was the word he used, advansive. Okay. So my plants was too advansive. So I was like, your master, first off, your master? Your master told you to overwater my plant and kill them because they were too advansive. And the word advanced basically because they were too advanced. So he's only 4, so don't judge. But I was like, wow, like okay, first of all, we're watching right now like Huggy Wuggy, Poppy Playtime Factory, all these type of things is something that the kids are kind of like getting on right now. Not saying that it has a negative spirit tied to it or it has a certain message that is hypnotizing the children, who's to say. But it was just the fact that my 4-year old said, my master told me to overwater your plants because they were too advanced. To me, that put me in a mental contemplation. That put me in some type of mental conflict. Because first of all, what am I doing, right? So I had to close my mouth, shut down for a little bit, purge a little bit within because I need to get myself right. I also just heard you can be in a predicament or in a situation where you have became so angry and so bitter that you're in this inner conflict and you're blah, blah, burden burdening you're putting more burdens on yourself, thank you, than you need to because you feel like you're not going to be accepted, you're not going to be reciprocated right, um so on and so forth. So those are kind of all the messages I have, along with the stories and testimonials that I have shared. I might come back and do another one. I'm gonna come back and do another one. We'll see what happens from there. So again, thank you for all the uh, confirmations for those readers that have been doing this longer than I have. I do honestly thank God for your life, for real, for real. I've said that before as well. Um, I also thank you for you guys that are actually finding the curiosity to tap into the video, whether you watch the whole video or not. I am still appreciated for even finding the curiosity to see